Hello and welcome back to episode 62 of the Rat City Radio Podcast. I am your host, PerryThePig, and with me for a very special interview today is Dreadful the Capybara. Dread, what's going on?
Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic, we're about 3 days or 2 days into the patch. This is like the second day, right?
It
Right?
feels like one long day with how much that we've been streaming.
Okay, cool.
It's
I just
amazing.
wanted to make sure.
I could not be happier. So we have a slew of things to talk about today. We're going to talk about the Smite Fissure build that you and I have both been playing. We're going to talk about the changes to the best patch that Last Epoch has ever had. Holy crap, it's so much fun to play. We're going to talk about our next builds that we're planning on playing after that. And then I'm going to sneak in a little bit of conversation about build contest as well. So with that said, Dread, how have your past 60, 72 hours been? How have you been, my friend?
Absolutely amazing for the most part. The only problem I've been having is because I'm essentially not to even I'm not even like joking when I say this in general, right? Like I'm slowly becoming like the face of Last Epoch a little bit. So a lot of new players are coming into my chat and asking some of the most, boring of questions. And let me put it like this: I answer a lot of questions all day. That's my job now. But because of that, my throat has been terrible. But other than that, it's been an amazing patch. Like my Smite Fissure build has been blasting. Like the new content has been blasting. Uh, like everything's going according to plan, at least in my book.
Love it. So I guess in terms of you being like a face, I'm gonna chill on calling you the face, but I'm definitely gonna call you a face. You
Yeah,
pumped
that's a better
out
way.
Last Epoch content on YouTube and on Twitch for the past like 6 months in a period of dead time where like weren't a lot of people playing the game. So when people were trickling back into the world of Last Epoch, your content was front and center. And
Oh
like
yeah, for
you
sure.
you do meta builds, you also do like off meta builds. And one of the things that I like about your content, quite frankly, is like you said early on that you wanted there to be YouTube videos to cover, builds that don't have YouTube videos. Just like if there's a build out there, if it's like remotely playable, you wanted some kind of brainstorming video to exist that would cover it. And I like that. I think that's a really good approach. And because of that, you've had a lot of people coming to you talking about like Harbinger stuff, new players trickling into the game, a lot of like PoE 2 and like Diablo 4 gamers are checking out Last Epoch for the first time, or maybe just like tourists coming back after a long hiatus since like 1.0 or something. And like, I love it. You have had huge numbers on Twitch. Do you like it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I love it for
Good.
the most part. I like I said, I just eventually I know how Pox feels when you essentially become an answering machine, you know?
Mm-hmm. You gotta do what I do. Just make 1,000 chat commands. Be like
Oh
exclamation
no,
point
I
this,
mean like this.
exclamation point that.
I'm gonna get a soundboard instead.
Oh, I like that. Ooh, a soundboard. Perfect. Okay, so that's all well and dandy. I want to talk a little bit about the patch for season two. We waited like 9, 10. It feels like a year, but it was 9 months, wasn't it?
Actually, Perry,
Huh?
we should talk about something else first, actually. Something
Go on.
happened between the podcast and the last, something really big in your life. Hmm?
In my particular life,
Yeah.
something big did happen in my particular life. Your Twitch chat might not know. My Twitch chat certainly knows, and the podcast audience might know. We skipped last week's podcast. I read the patch notes. I did an 8 hour stream of reading the patch notes on a Friday night, and then on Saturday morning, we drove to the hospital at midnight, and then at 2 o'clock in the morning, my child was born. So we now have a tiny little baby. His name is Finn. He is fucking adorable. Doesn't do much, not very talkative, poops a lot, but oh my god, is he adorable. So this is my second kid, and he was just born. My
It's okay. I
wife,
can relate to him.
my my wife has completely supported me in taking the past couple days to stream Last Epoch and make YouTube videos and do stuff like this. We have got two sets of grandparents that are in town helping us as well. It's been very, very good. Becoming a father. I have a 3-year-old who is also upstairs. So we got a 3-year-old and a 1-week-old at this point. So I am a dad already. Yeah, it's wonderful. Like, man, I feel like when I walk upstairs and like I go to the bathroom, I refill my coffee, I just like I see my wife and I'm like you're allowing me to stream. She's like, yep, I'm allowing you to stream. You know, it's good. And the little baby that is currently like always in her arms because she doesn't put him down, cutest kid I've ever seen. Oh my god, he's so good. Little baby Finn. Love it. A good Scottish
Perfect.
name. Yeah, maybe I'm Scottish. I don't know. I might be. Yeah,
The
what else
Scottish
happened since the last podcast? I did get a 1 LP Red Ring of Valeria. Amazing.
Did you leave it on the ground this time?
I picked it up and I imprinted it as many times as I could on my Weaver web or Weaver tree. Oh, I'm gonna get another one. 1 LP, dude. It's amazing. Imagine getting a 1 LP Red Ring of Valeria in any patch before today. And before season 2. You'd have to like gamble 1 in 4 to get what you're looking for. And now you just like T7 strength, T7
That
int.
is one of the biggest
Amazing change to season 2.
Epoch.
It's like, it's so fucking good getting anything you want on a 1 LP item. Like 1 LP items were garbage before. They were so bad. And they felt bad and they weren't fun and they were frustrating. And then EHG's is like, you know what? If it's that frustrating, fuck it. Do whatever you want. It's so good. I love 2 LPs. 2 LPs, I get a 1 in 3 to like slam like the right thing. But even if I whiff, it's still pretty good. So I've been putting like
I've got T6 devotion on day 1 because of that.
I love it. Oh yeah, I've got boots with like tier 6 vitality, tier 6 movement speed because of the new crafting materials as well. We got the runes of havoc that let you shift up the tiers on your items. The runes of redemption. I've used a rune of redemption to spin a tier 7 into tier 7 vitality for my Void Knight. There's so many big changes that happened during season 2. And there's also 1,000 small changes that happened as well. That just like
portal charms,
the portal charms and evade feels
charm.
better, and like the MTX looks amazing, and
I got the
new
visuals one right
visuals.
I got the Oblivion one on my marksman, and it looks really good.
And like even there, like we have a lizard level. It's a new woven echo, and it's got fucking circus music that plays. Like they really spent a lot of time on the big things and the small. Like I guess they had a lot of time, but like when EHG takes this long to deliver a patch, it felt bad. We had to wait for a long time. I wasn't happy about it, but this is a good fucking job that they did. It's an amazing patch, and the kinds of comments that we've seen on social media, like on Reddit, for example, are just like glaze. People are just like, "Oh my god, this."
Well, 90% of them are. We'll talk about the other 10%.
How come every time I'm excited about something, you trudge through the comment section to find the one person who's pissy about it?
No. This is not. No. This is not just like one person. This is like a large amount of people.
Okay, so I have topics of conversation, but let's do this for. I think I know what you're about to talk about. Let's do it.
No, let's talk about our builds first, and then we can
builds first. Okay, we'll do builds first, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. You start on. Well, I guess I should start on mine since I made you play yours. So
yeah. So I thought that you were going to start out with Heartseeker. I was telling people like I'm positive that Dread's going to start out playing like some kind of like hybrid ailment Heartseeker build, but you did Fissure and I loaded up Fissure at the same time. So yeah, go ahead. You're playing Fissure.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, in this patch, Fissure from Smite. If you don't know what it is, it's okay because it was completely and utterly bugged before and completely non-functional. It did just pretty much just didn't exist, to be honest.
It was like, a noob player trap. Yep, noob trap.
It was awful. Okay. Now, what's cool though? What's cool is you can use this with a lot of different ways of scaling damage over time. Like for instance, it inherits the 250% more from Smite's tree, then the 100% more in the fissure part of the tree. Then you can scale lightning damage over time with crit multi, which is like one of the biggest ways of scaling damage. Then you can run elemental damage over time. Then you can run devotion on top of that. And all of that just leads to a build that just feels really good to play for day one. And we're already at 3 million DPS, like day 2 of the patch, and I'm already doing 1,000 corruption. And like I've already killed my Aberoth a few times. Like I am just absolutely zooming and I feel tanky. Like I'm capped on block. I'm at 80% movement speed. I'm farming my Weaver's Web, which we'll talk about later. And I'm just having a hell of a time. While you, on the other hand, you get to talk about your story now.
Yeah, sure. So I loaded up a very similar character. I was doing a VK Fissure Smite. So like same kind of thing, like void damage over time, scaling vitality instead of devotion, doing like void damage over time, hopefully trying to get those idols instead of having the Ellie dot stuff. And I'm about to publish a video for YouTube about this as well, talking about like the big differences between them. And like early on, I was really hoping that one of them wasn't going to be strictly better and the other one wasn't going to be strictly worse, because I really don't like strictly better, strictly worse. And like, yeah, on like a day 1 or day 2 scenario, it's clear that the Void Knight is tankier, and it's clear that the Paladin has more DPS. But it's basically a strictly better, strictly worse, like in my opinion. So like the Paladin has a lot of stuff going for it. I love the inclusion of the shield instead, and like just continuing to crank out your damage with like the devotion and the like other scaling with like crit multi and whatnot. And I don't think Void Knight has enough going for it that's like different. Like
For
I
this
I
specific
love
build,
the
which,
defense.
by the way, mind you, Void Knight got buffed to the
Oh,
absolute extreme this
oh,
patch.
love Void Knight.
Only
Yeah, only talking
the,
about this one particular build. Agreed.
because it can't abuse echoes.
Yeah, yeah. So Void Knight has like the Echo stuff, which it does not work with fissures. Void Knight has more damage for melee vitality stuff. We're not playing melee builds. There's a crit multi, and like the crit multi in the skill tree for VK. We're not using any of that. There's a lot of things that Void Knight really, really does well that this particular build doesn't get to take advantage of. And like, yeah, it's fine. So my
The
biggest
only advantage
takeaway,
is vitality stacking,
yeah,
right?
the
For the
vitality
flag
stacking for the
damage.
most part. And like, there's a couple more multipliers here and there. The defenses feel so good, and the new Void Knight skill tree is amazing. They did a really good job with the new Void Knight skill tree. The biggest difference, despite the difference in damage and like a little bit of survivability on the side of VK and like better for damage over time mitigation, but realistically, I think the content that's available to you if you're playing the VK or the Paladin build is basically the same. I don't think that if you're interested in killing Uber Aberoth, either of these builds are what you want to do. Maybe one of them goes like 2 or 300 corruption higher, but like realistically, they're very similar builds. And shout out to both these builds. They were both amazing season start builds. Super cozy the entire time. So I was very happy. Like I drew the short straw here, but I still feel like just like really, really cozy experience for the first couple days.
Yeah, I agree. It was literally ready, like right off the bat, literally day one. Like I was already at 300 corruption after only 11 hours playing and like doing my 10 out of 10 Harbinger run. Although to be fair, I'm actually good at it now, so that doesn't
To
really,
be fair, you
mean much.
practiced it for 6 months. Yeah,
I
exactly.
did practice it for 6 months. That is correct. But what's interesting about the two builds from what I've seen so far is like it just felt good. It just felt good. Like obviously I'm only at 3 million DPS and you want more. I know it's crazy to say that right now. I know it's crazy to say that, but trust me, there's a reason for it. The game has been
So when you
growing in
say
terms of
DPS, you mean 3 mil damage ticks on the dummy, right?
yeah, like 3 mil damage chicks on the dummy. It's
So
probably more than
yeah,
that.
I think it ticks every 0.7 seconds. So I think your
Yeah, there's
DPS
a
is
bunch
more
of
like 5 mil
twisted
or something.
nonsense going on right now, so we don't really know.
Yeah. So like my dummy ticks are about 1.2, and like that it's fine for Aberoth. I have no problem doing Aberoth. I can like farm it. It's fine. Um, it's not gonna one tap it. If you wanted to do 100 Aberoths in a row, this isn't what you want to do. But it's fine. It's
Yeah,
like it's kind of an all rounder, you know, excellent season start scenario. Imagine if every weird sub skill in Last Epoch was as
actually
playable
functions like
as
this.
Fissure,
Yeah.
right? Like there's so
Yeah.
many. Okay, there's not that many, but there
Also,
are.
Self-Cast
There,
Smite finally has an archetype
yeah,
that functions and
self-cast,
does
right? Man,
shit. Yeah.
I've got so many thoughts in my head. Imagine if the other sub skills in Last Epoch had as much support as Fissure does. Like they buffed it, they put some damage effectiveness on it, they put some flat damage on it, and they made it convert correctly. And all of a sudden, it's like this is an entire new archetype. The biggest problem with self-cast Smite in the past is like, what do you do for clear speed? Because like your single target's really good, but what's your clear speed? And like healing hands helps, but healing hands is fire damage, so like you convert to lightning for the extra
You'd rather
scaling.
just be a hammer build and just throw hammers instead.
You could
pretty
but the like self-cast fire crit stuff that you can do fire crit, but the lightning damage over time stuff that just got added to paladin is so good. And instead of only being like crit plus healing hands for your AoE damage, Fissure gives you a way of playing self-cast smite and having AoE damage at the same time, and I love the addition of that to the game. It feels super solid.
All right. I feel like we've glazed Fissure enough, although I could glaze it more if I mean, the full build guide is coming out tomorrow. I'm really happy to make that. But so the reason why I was talking about earlier about like the 10% being loud is so I'm sure you can guess what the topic is, but power creep, man, power creep. Like, there's a lot. Like, do you want to start listing off every single amount of power creep we got this patch? I'll wait.
I would start with just like the guaranteed slams for 1 LP.
So that's not necessarily power creep. It just speeds things up, but it is still power
Sure,
creep.
it does. That's honestly, that's why I feel comfortable with it.
It raises the floor.
Yeah, it makes it much easier to play, to get your build up and running. It like removes the feel bad moments. It actually feels really good for like meme and off meta builds too. Like I want to try this weird thing, but I need T7 melee attack speed to make it happen.
Now all I do is I just use a key. I use a portal thing. I put slap on the
okay. So power creep. I thought that the big topic that you wanted to talk about was like, is Last Epoch too easy?
Well, this feeds into
this. Feeds into it. Okay, gotcha. So the power creep. I mean, what's on your mind about power creep?
Well, the new idols. That's a good start.
Yes.
Weaver's Wool idols are fucking absurd. They're absurd.
They're fun. You get to iterate on your build. You get to like interact with like your idol system more often.
Modifiers.
Yeah, they're fun modifiers. You get to like if they're not good enough, you can like re-roll them again. I like them. I think they're really good addition to the game.
I'm not even talking about the addition on the normal class mods. I'm talking about the 1x2s and the 1/1s and all that.
Yeah, just like strictly better vitality, better.
Those are disgusting.
Yeah, they're good.
Right now, okay. To give you an idea, okay, I'm playing a build right now that is so it scales off of cold res and freeze rate multi because it's getting both from Heartseeker and my boots, right?
Yep.
I'm literally wearing an idol that's giving me 25% freeze rate multi, 4 ward gained on freeze, which is insanely relevant for my build, and 20% cold res. This right now, if I were to just give it the amount of damage it's giving me, this is giving me like 10 to 15% pen per idol. And it's a 1x2. And it gives me a ward on freeze. And it caps my cold res. Like, that's just insane. Like, you just didn't have access to that before.
But you don't get that at the very beginning of the game.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So like you find this along the way. You have to participate in the new tombs. Like it is power creep for the end game builds, but like it's not just adding more damage at the beginning. I think it's totally fine.
Oh, no, especially I'm not saying it's bad, by the way.
Yes.
Every single patch, there's always going to be power creep. The main reason why I want to bring up power creep is because back in the day, before 1.0, the comfortable amount of corruption most people would push at on average was like 300 corruption, right? That was like the place where you wanted to be at the very least. Then 1.0 came and then it got boosted up to 700. Harry, it's boosting up again. If your build doesn't do 1,000 corruption now, I don't even want to see it at this point.
1,000 corruption is like the best place to be in terms of favorite
now
game per hour. Yep.
Well, yeah, because like with so much power creep entering the game, like I don't know why you'd ever do less. Your builds are too strong for that. Why would you ever say it at like 500 corruption ever? Obviously, in COF, it's a little different. I get that part, right? But at the same time, it's like, isn't it insane? I think it's insane. I'm okay with it. It's just like, I'm just like looking at it and stuff, and I'm just like, wow. Like, just the amount that we just got this patch is crazy. Holy fuck. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there's a lot of people coming from a certain difficult game that came out recently and coming and playing Last Epoch and be like, wow, this game's really easy because, you know, they'll get through the campaign, they'll get through normal monoliths and be like, wow, this is a slog. And unfortunately, I agree it is. Yeah, like it's kind of a slog. What do you think? Do you think the early game's too easy now with how much power we got?
I think it's fine. Like it's the beginning of the game. It's like the campaign. It's normal monoliths. Like the game's not supposed to be hard at that point. Like I
Oh, I
understand. I
agree.
understand the Path of Exile 2 is
Oh,
like
I'm not arguing whether or not it should be. I'm just genuinely curious of the thought process behind it because it's just like, you know, is like is the game getting too easy? Like my problem with it specifically personally is I don't really see normal monoliths in the campaign as much anymore because I finish it too fast. If you think the game is too easy, you're probably just not going fast enough. I know it sounds crazy, but like, you're probably just kind of like, you know, in like normal monoliths at level 80 and you're still not in powered monos. And
right.
I think that right
So
there is where the problem is.
it's why I have such a hard time answering this question or like participating in it. For like like is the game too easy? The people the comments that I've seen proposing that Last Epoch is too easy started on day one.
Yeah.
And people
Like
in day
immediate.
one are in
It
the
was immediate.
campaign or in the queue waiting to log in, or they are like in early monoliths complaining that the game is too easy. Like, the Last Debug too easy. It's like first of all, it is easier than Path of Exile. It is easier than Path of Exile 2. I'd like to add as an addendum here as a tangent that I have had so much fun playing Last Epoch over the past 72 hours. Like it is a fun video game.
Oh, I
I
have
fucking
too.
enjoy it.
I'm having a great
But
time.
like, how could you complain that the game is too easy when you're in the fucking storyline? Like, where is this coming from? I think it's just people who complain because they like complaining, which is
Oh,
fine.
I know.
But like,
Oh,
get
yeah.
out of here, touch
Oh, no,
grass.
there's some big people who are talking about it too. No, there's some big people who are talking about it too. Like some big people on YouTube and stuff too. Like even Rax was talking about it as well. Like it's not just like for some random people on the internet. Like there's a lot of people that right now that think the game's really easy right now. But the problem is every single time I see that and I go look at what they're doing, they're like at like 100 corruption with like a paladin with like 8,000 HP or something ridiculous like that. It's like, yeah, of course the game's gonna be easy when you go like slow as like a molasses. Like I feel like PoE would be the same way too if you didn't rush through the game, right?
I
Normal
I
PoE.
also don't feel as though Last Epoch is like a terribly easy game.
Oh, I don't think it's
I
terribly
think it's
easy
like an
too.
appropriate difficulty. So my experience my personal experience that pushes back on this is that you know I've got thousands of hours in this game. I've played hardcore and softcore. I've been on top of the arena ladder at like rank 1 in the past, and like I have a lot of experience in this game. With the character that I'm playing right now is a good character with good offense and defense, well rationale. I think it's worse than Paladin, but I think it's a good character, and I'm doing 600 corruption currently. When I walk into those tombs and those cemeteries, first of
Oh, they
all,
fuck you up. There's
first of
on
all,
death
first of all,
effects and
I'm
everything.
having a lot of fun. They're really
Oh,
fucking enjoyable. Second of all, they're really spooky. They literally remind me of like playing Path of Exile with like a juiced up map with like lasers going everywhere. It's so much fun and like
yeah, there's
it's
so much
scary.
density in such a small
So much
spot
density,
too.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
like you can do 5 shades of Orbis at the same time. And that's fucking scary too. It's optional difficulty that you're opting into by clicking on
That
all
was
5 of them.
actually what my opinion on it was like I think the problem is I think Last Epoch is the king of letting you choose your own difficulty, but people just don't see that yet because they're not that experienced with the game. Because like in my humble opinion, okay, from playing so long, even with all this power creep and all that, like I'm like, oh, like I should push 1,000 corruption now, etc. I think that's fine. Normally, I shit talk the corruption system scaling infinitely and all that, but this is like one of the strengths of it. They just gave us one of the largest amounts of strength that we've ever gotten, other than like 1.0 with the factions, and like all that's happened is just, in my opinion, you just go from 700 to 1,000. And like that's pretty much it. And then like, oh, maybe you'll kill Aberoth a bit faster or whatever.
Mhm.
And but if you were to give this kind of power creep into a game that doesn't have infinitely scaling content like PoE 1, right? Like the reason they added tier 17 maps was because characters were getting too strong for
Mhm.
normal
Mhm.
content. And they couldn't just, add Uber map content without making a whole new tier and stuff like that. But because of the infinite scaling corruption that Ellie provides in that regard, it hasn't been that big of an issue. I'm just
Push more
surprised about
corruption.
it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
you just go a
when
bit higher.
and fun honestly is an important part of this conversation, because if you're still having fun and you want more difficulty, just push more difficulty. And I've been having so much fun this patch. I want to play a better character so that I can push more difficulty, so that I can find more challenges. It's so enjoyable. Like if this were a slog and I were frowning for 17 hours a day, I wouldn't. I would go play a different video game, frankly, because I don't play. I only play games for fun. Um, I don't. how, how can you call the game too easy on day one? I don't get it.
Daycona said, "No, you can still get 28 weavers well in items. It's just really rare.
Yeah, you can.
You there's no cap. Like there's a cap at 28. It's just really rare. So yeah, it's just something interesting that's been on my mind of late, because every single patch we get has been such a large amount of like quote unquote power creep that like it's just on my mind of late, because I'm like there are like distinct times in Last Epoch that are so different to me. Like LE has changed a lot over the past 2 years to the point where like it's a different game.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Really,
past 2 years have been that's Rune Master too, right?
yeah, like
That's Rune
over
Master,
the past few
Falconer,
years,
uh,
completely different game.
Warlock. Yeah, like we've much zoomier, right?
Which
Um,
I'm fine with, mind you.
Me too. It's the introduction of the item factions and favor gain per hour. It's the rework of corruption, which means that 400 is twice as difficult as 200. So like if you can do 500, just imagine killing a monster twice as like it takes twice as long to kill a monster. So if you do 500 with like good damage, you can probably do 1,000 too, right?
The reason I talk about this kind of stuff a lot, where I bring up these kind of topics, is because like I know I don't respond to every single comment, but I
Mm-hmm.
read comments. Like I read your guys' comments. I read them on the videos and stuff like that. What like when I make a video talk about is Last Epoch too easy, which is really freaking ironic considering didn't we just make a video talking about how it's too difficult in some ways? Remember? So it's just like it's funny that we've complete and utter like turnaround here, but I just wanted to like bring it up because it's just like such an interesting topic of conversation, because like in my opinion the game all like sure like it's a little bit easier earlier on, but I just push faster. I just get to empowered monos faster. I get to like 1,000 corruption faster. It's like if I need more difficulty, I'm just gonna go push 1,500 corruption. I'm gonna go push a 2,000 corruption. If I play a build that has like 20 million DPS, I'm just gonna go 3,000 corruption or whatever, or however much I need to push
Mm-hmm.
till I feel good. And then if I really need to push, if my build is really, really good, they just introduced one of the fattest fucking asses in the entire game. So as you've noticed, as you've like slammed your head against it a few times,
All
right?
right, all right. There's a Twitch comment that I want to read out loud. I want to address it because I think it's a good point, but I think we can do
Yeah.
better than this. So let's. This person said,
Yeah.
just because the aspirational content doesn't get the game not too easy label, that shouldn't be your fight back remark. So just because the aspirational content is not too easy doesn't mean the rest of the game isn't too easy. I I agree. I think that's true. I think just because Uber Aberoth is hard doesn't mean that the rest of Last Epoch is hard. I hear you. At the
Yeah.
same time, that's not the only thing that I'm calling hard. I think that like normal monos pose a good amount of difficulty, especially the tombs uh and the cemeteries. I think there's other hard content in the game. I've died doing normal monoliths. I've died doing tombs as well. I think the difficulty of Last Epoch is quite good.
Yeah, I think it's quite good too. That's why I even bring up this. It's just like I'm just kind of confused to see. So I'm gonna put it like I have a perfect example for how I feel about this. Let's say that you are a Rubik's Cube enjoyer, okay? You
I'm
start, you know, you
I'm listening. I'm listening.
buy your first Rubik's Cube, right? So you try to do the Rubik's Cube by yourself without any guides or anything. And the Rubik's Cube is like essentially really hard and you can't figure it out and you think it's too difficult, right? So you end up looking for a guide on the website for how to solve a Rubik's Cube. And you do said solution to solve the Rubik's Cube, all of a sudden it's not that hard. You're like, wow, this game's too easy. But then you have the speed cuber over there looking at you like, what do you mean it's like too easy? Like, have you tried doing it fast? And that's how I feel about it. It's like there's a lot of people that are using guides to push this content and stuff like that. That like I think if they didn't have just a guide sitting there that like told them exactly what to do, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be this way. I'm pretty sure that like it would be a little bit more difficult because like a good example, like it took me a second to figure out how to get the Smite character set up because there was no information on it. It was completely new, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the thing is like a good example is a racing strike. A racing strike is a well publicized like like build in general. Like there's content of it everywhere and it's a very popular build. So adapting it to the new patch was not that hard and was very easy. Like a good example was like I've been playing for months and months and months, right? And I was pushing my Smite character to like 1,000 corruption. And I went and looked at Fubgun's stream. Fubgun, he's just a PoE streamer
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't play LE that much, but he plays it every so often, right? So he's not the most knowledgeable. But I'm like watching as a racing strike, it's doing more damage than what I was doing with the Smite character, and I know what I'm doing. I think like I think well, I mean, there's kind of like a big elephant in the room that I really don't want to address, but I'm going to anyways. I think they went a little too far with the Sentinel changes, just a little bit. But at the same time, you know what? It's fine to have a Sentinel patch. But what I mean by this is like, did we really need to buff like Void Knight's passive tree while also buffing Erasing Strike at the same time? Erasing Strike was already like a competitive like skill, right? Before the buffs. So seeing that get buffed by like 80% more or something like that, and plus other nodes, and then on top of that, right? You get the passive tree, which you get like 200% free crit, like like a bunch of increased damage, all this stuff, right? All this base crit. I think that it was just a little too tad too much. I think specifically like in Sentinel and Void Knight. I mean Paladin and Void
Mm-hmm.
Knight's case, right? You know, Forge Guard's like sitting there in the corner. Like, what do you think? Do you think they went a little too far?
First of all, I think Forge Guard needs a buff.
Well, yeah,
I
obviously.
think
Well,
Forge Guard.
yeah, I agree. I
For
agree
Forge Guard.
wholeheartedly. I agree
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
For Forge Guard. This was supposed to be his patch. They did remove volatile reversal, true. They I like it probably needs some adjustment. I actually don't know how much damage Erasing Strike is cranking right now. But like
It's a
listen,
lot.
it's a
It's
lot
a
of
very
damage. Like listen. I think it's fine. Like we've had other patches where like it's like a Falconer patch or like it's a Sork patch in 1.1 and we're all just living in it. Like that's fine. So if if it ends up being the case that like Erasing Strike is one of the best things to be doing in patch 1.2, like maybe it's the Sentinel patch. They just reworked it. They tried to add some damage in to make up for the lack of Molotov reversal, which was a huge skill. And then like so in terms of Sentinel builds, Sentinel is a very good new player mastery. It's a very good new player
Yeah,
class, and like Paladin, one of the best new player masteries, and it's kind of a fan favorite, the VK stuff. Like we've talked
it
about
is.
for a long time, VK not having good layers of defense, and they're experimenting with more armor multipliers in VK's tree, and elemental taken as void, which like that's amazing too. And like maybe they overdid it with the damage, but like they gave a new refreshed identity to VK. And Erasing Strike is a fan favorite melee skill. People love, new players love Sentinel. It's a classic archetype. New players love this Void Knight badass guy who uses, the void against the void. And Erasing Strike is a very big bonky skill. When Erasing Strike is good, it's good for melee and it's good for new players. This is a big patch for people trying in the game. Listen, if they overshot it and gave it too much damage, I think it's totally fine.
Oh yeah, I think it's totally
Like,
fine too. It's just something I noticed when I was like flipping around. I'm just like, wow, and Calvara. No, I can tell you right now, the new Erasing Strike is I the numbers go burr. It is ridiculous. Like I think Heartseeker is good, mind you. I'm playing it right. Like I'm playing it and I'm enjoying it. But like Racing Strike, it's got me in the corner being like, I could just go play
it's
that.
that
Because
strong?
remember, yeah,
Wow.
no, it
I haven't seen
is.
it.
It's very good. Like I was watching 1,000 Corruption Harbinger die in like 30 seconds. It was disgusting. It was just
Bonk.
absurd and disgusting. Well, it's because it's just everything all culminating in the same, like it's
Like I
just
talked about
all
the echoes not working for me, but it works for them. Talked about the melee not working for me, but it works for them. Talked about the crit not working for me, but the crit works for them, right? Cool. I mean,
Uh,
good, right? But like it's a melee character. Like, oh, melee's not good. Like we got a good melee VK build and it has real defense to it. Like, oh no. This is just
no, no. This is not a comparison as a Thief of Joy moment. Like I'm really enjoying it. Like I'm happy Sentinel's on top for once. Holy fuck, am I happy Sentinel's on top for
right.
once?
It's good.
Like I'm really happy about
I'm
that, mind
disappointed
you.
about Forge Guard, but like,
Well, yeah,
listen,
you can go
I would
cry over
still like if you told me like I have to go re-roll Forge Guard, I would go play Forge Weapons and I would have fun exploring it. That still seems like a fun thing
it.
that I'd be willing to explore.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's our due diligence as people who are playing the game to actually also understand the game, considering like, we talk about it and a lot. Like, I want to be aware of what's going on in the world of Last Epoch. And I can tell you right now, the Sentinel dominance is real. And like it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. uh, uh, I don't want to go too much on that. It's just so disgusting. Like some of the things I'm seeing right now. But you know what we should talk about as well? So this has been kind of something that's been boiling up a little bit over the past few patches, but I think it's actually turned into a turning point this patch. What's up with them just giving us a band-aid solution every single time there's a problem,
Oh.
or just completely removing it? So this first started off with
I
arenas,
know this.
right? Like arenas and dungeons. Like first things off, we got nodes on the tree that lets us, and woven echoes that let us not even interact with the arena of champions, which thank God it was shit. But now, what's the point of the arena of champions? They might as well have just removed it, right, and left it as like an arena echo. Then they removed endurance threshold because they didn't want to balance it, which was just weird considering endurance threshold was an interesting layer of defense, right? They literally just removed it, like literally,
I,
like in the patch notes.
I want you to continue, but I am in favor
Mhm.
of endurance threshold being in the game. I think it's a mistake to remove it. I think they should have buffed it instead. I agree with you. So keep going.
Yeah. Then we had the cardinal sin of this dungeon charms. Oh, and the thing is, I'm okay with this. I love this
Me
part.
too.
But my problem is like this is how you end up with a lot of bloat in the video game, right? Am I wrong for thinking that?
Like you have this big piece of content that you spent all this time making, and then you could just skip it.
Yeah.
So the stated rationale for this from EHG is that they didn't know how to make the Temporal Sanctum and the dungeons more interesting, so they added a short-term band-aid of just skipping it.
Yeah, and as
It's
long
a
as it's
really good short-term band-aid,
as long
but
as
it's
it's a short
comical
term,
and it's a bad long-term solution. Yes.
like the thing is like sure, short term, but do you really think they're gonna touch the Arena of Champions in this decade?
Just leave it. Just leave it. Fuck it,
Just
right?
leave it there. Yeah, no one ever goes over there anyways. Who uses arena keys? Am I right? Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's just it just perturbed me when I see them literally removing endurance threshold from the game
Mm-hmm.
for no reason, because there were people building around it. There are ways of doing it. There were marksman setups that were specifically set up to just focus on endurance because they couldn't stack enough HP,
Mm-hmm.
right? Well, thank God they buffed HP at the same time, right? But at the same time, it's like it's just such a weird direction to go where you just remove things that just don't work,
Yes, yes.
which I'm okay with that. But at the same time, it's like I could have seen a world where endurance threshold worked. Like, was endurance threshold really offending anyone? Was it like
It
unbalanced?
was it was it's weird that
Confusing for
it's
new
weird that
players?
they removed endurance threshold. I don't feel as though there's a particular reason for it. I do think it's a bit of a noob trap, like it's just like worse than other
Yeah,
things,
I can see that.
unless like the very specific scenarios like you're talking about. I think that endurance threshold was interesting because it made endurance percent more interesting. It made recovery, like life gain on hit and leech and healing effect and stuff like that, more interesting as well. And it gave you a different avenue to build your character up. Like try to gain health as endurance threshold, or just like stack it up to your entire life bar. It's an interesting alternative to what we have right now for HP based characters instead of just like going percent HP and hybrid HP and all the slots you can get. But the endurance threshold that existed in 1.1 was only really worthwhile to put on your gear if it was at tier 7. So they could have buffed it. They could have made it hybrid. They could have added other things to it as well. The direction that it seems to be going with endurance threshold is, first of all, taking it off your gear, which they obviously did this patch, and then introducing more and more sources of percentage of maximum HP gained
Not
as endurance threshold in
only
some conditions.
they okay, my problem with it is they not only removed most of it, they just left one source of it on your belt
Why did you do
for
that?
some reason.
Why? What was
Like,
the what,
like
what was that for?
yeah,
Why did they do
like if
that?
you're gonna remove the whole
Just
thing,
delete it. What the fuck?
and then they added then they added like a brewmaster's
Oh yeah, but
like
that's what
buckle.
I'm talking about, right? Like it seems as though EHG wants to go the like in
Yeah,
maximum
they want
maximum
endurance to
life.
be like Lord, where you get it from items instead of just skills and
Yeah, so
stuff. Or
maximum life gain is endurance threshold under condition. Like if you haven't been hit
yeah,
recently, if you drank a potion recently, if you hit an enemy with a melee attack recently, like those kinds of things would give you extra endurance threshold. And like that's fine, that's cool, that's interesting. I like it. I think
but
they
why
they,
is
they
it on
could have
your
done something
belt?
else instead. But like, why is it on the belt? Why the belt
Yeah,
is kind of weird.
like that's just that. I'll be honest, that's like the only like I don't mind if they remove it and all that and all this and all that. Like I don't care. Like it's their game. I want them to do what they
Mhm.
feel like they want to do. But just why the belt?
Yeah, it's someone in Twitch chat said in the belt, the place where you most don't want it, because your suffixes are percent HP, hybrid HP, cooldown recovery speed, and fortify. You've like the 4 best affixes for suffixes. Where you get endurance threshold? Like what? Why? It is
Yeah,
strange. It is strange.
like I said, it's not that big of a deal. We have talked about a lot of the more boring state of the game stuff. Let's talk
Mm.
about the exciting stuff. Woven echoes. Woven
Woven
echoes.
echoes are amazing. Uh,
For so many different reasons, mind you.
uh, I love interacting with this.
How about
Someone
this?
said that
How
it
about
feels
this?
like Synthesis League. I agree with
Yeah.
that. I want cemeteries to be more common, so I should probably change my own Weaver web to have cemeteries more common so that I can like put a few more things in there, right? But like
All
it
right.
feels really really good to
All right.
just
I
mess
have an
around with all these
idea.
different ones. Go
What
ahead.
have you been doing in your end game tree?
My in-game Weaver tree.
Yes.
Do you
What
want me
have
to
you
talk
been doing?
about the beacon no beacon technology you and I just
Yeah.
found?
What like no like what have you just been doing all day? Pretty much.
Oh.
Like, what have you been doing? Have you just been putting nodes in randomly, or have you been testing things? I
Nodes and
haven't been paying
randomly.
attention to John. You just been doing it randomly? That's
Randomly.
understandable.
Yeah.
Alright, you know
I've
what?
been
Then
I've been
I'll talk
farming
about
red rings, honestly.
oh, that's understandable. We'll talk about the imprints later, speaking of power creep.
Love the imprints.
But, cries and 40 devotions on the ground that all have 1 LP, so they're
Mm-hmm.
useless to me. So, okay. The way I've been using the Weaver tree right now is I've been imprinting beacons. And the reason why I've been doing that is because in Merchant's Guild, I don't have like the favor per hour strat that like COF has access to, where you just pump out as much experience as possible. I can't do that. I mean, I could, but it wouldn't get me anywhere, right? So I need to like find items to sell. And it's been really interesting to see how people go about it in MG and COF because it's two completely different game like ballparks, right?
They are two different video games, yes.
And what I've been doing has been using beacons, and every single monolith echo I open now has 20 beacons in it immediately, like just from the start. And it's amazing because then I can open up all these monos and then go and get all of the goodies, like the good stuff, because you can turn off other echoes that aren't as good or like re-roll them into
Mm-hmm.
better echoes. And then all of this combined just leads to me like having a monolith echo that has 20 beacons in it, 20 unique bow, set, and quiver things in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then having a chaos on top of that to reroll all the other ones after I've unveiled like hundreds of echoes. And the thing is, the best part about it, I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. It was pretty quick.
Yes. Oh, I love it. It does not feel like
Because
a waste of time.
back in the
It feels like
day,
I'm
it was a
actively
waste of time.
participating the entire time. I'm having fun the whole time.
Yeah, back in the day, it was shit. Like doing
It was
that
a
kind of
slog.
strat
Yeah.
take forever. It would take forever.
Mm-hmm.
It would literally take forever trying to unveil everything. But now you can either place woven beacons like you tried and you
Mm-hmm.
figured out, or you can like, imprint them like I did just to make it speedier and all that. Like it's just like there's just so many good things about it that I'm just happy. And
So
this is just one
can I
chapter.
tell the story of what the back and forth that you and I had with like the beacons and
Of
whatnot?
course. Go right ahead.
So your recommendation was to take all the nodes on the very right side of your Weaver tree. That like if there's glyph, it rerolls it. If it's gold, it rerolls it. If it's a whatever, it rerolls it. And it doesn't eliminate that from the pool, but it's kind of like having a lucky chance of having a good echo, like an exalted item echo or a rare unique item echo or something like that, right? So all of those you need to have like super beacons enabled, but
Yeah.
turns out because we just tested this, you can disable all beacons and then also take all those, and then in addition imprint the super beacon, and then you never have normal beacon show up, you only have super beacon shows up. And I like the super beacons too. It gives you so much visibility so you can plan out where I'm going next and like what I can put a memory vessel in the middle of to like reset it and do it again. It's a lot of fun.
And then like the thing is too, we all like I'll be honest, I was a super arena hater when like we got the knowledge about super arenas. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, we can turn off arenas." I literally leveled a character from like level 40 to 70 in like at most a few hours while I was like watching you
Mm-hmm.
stream before like I started playing. Like I'm already level 85 Perry, and I was level 40 when I first talked like when I rated you. And that's because of the super arenas just being so dense and having so many enemies that it doesn't matter that they suck. There's just so many of them that like, and they're everywhere in a row. It's so good because now also as well because your monoliths share the thing, I just go and hop in. Oh, okay, I'm 10 levels under the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me hop here. Okay, I'm doing super arenas for a bit. Bam, done. Okay, next one, super arenas. Bam, next one. All of
You've
a
touched
sudden,
on two things that I love as well. You said like it doesn't matter that I can do super arenas for experience, even though they're shit. Super arenas, they're very even normal arenas. EHD did a good job just increasing monster speed and increasing the rate at which the
see,
rays
I wouldn't
spawn.
know because I turned them off immediately.
Right.
So
Give me 30 seconds because I'm so excited about how good a job they did. Like they literally
I
made
know.
normal arena in the monolith web more fun. Then the super arenas, you can manipulate them and like have them, minus waves, so they go faster. Champions spawn in there as well. They show up more often. And like you said, they're really good for power leveling. So the people who are like pushing to level 100, this was a strategy that they used to get as much XP per hour because that's the only thing that they were doing in that race. So That's great. You can also disable all of them. So if you don't want to participate, that's good. The loot in an arena echo purposefully does not drop as much loot, and you don't get like bonus encounters like nemesis or tombs or in there as
You get the
well.
champions. You
You
get the
get, yeah, you get like one
champions.
champion, but it feels like the
No,
champion.
no, no. I was getting multiple champions per run. I was getting a bunch of them.
Sure, but like you don't get like nemesis encounters, for example.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. And they
So
were
like
actually like I'm gonna defend them, to be honest, because I was doing them. They had champions in them, and the champions actually dropped loot at the end of the echo. It wasn't like
they
as if
did.
like they just didn't drop any loot. And that's good. And that's very, very like very important because there's a lot of ways of juicing champions, right?
Yes. Yeah. There's extra stuff in the tree there.
Just wanted
I've
to hop in and say that because
sure.
like,
I still find them underwhelming because arena
yeah,
echoes
they are.
are still designed intentionally so that they drop less loot than a normal echo does. And every time that you find an arena echo, it's taking the place of a different echo instead. So like for me, I've deleted all my arena echoes, but like even that, like you've said that you can use them for experience and they serve a purpose
Just
and they
having
are
that
really good. And
just exists. Yeah.
the best part about this whole thing is that it's very cheap to respec your weaver tree. You can just level a character, spec into all of your super arena echoes, level up, power level like that, and then once you're high level, you just respec it, easy peasy, and turn them off. And that's awesome. It's painless. It's so cheap to do it. It's very, very good.
Yeah, speaking of painless and cheap, we talked a lot about this before the patch. And like it got to the point where it got nerfed to crap, by the way. Mastery respecs, they got cheaper. They made them so much cheaper.
Did they?
They were way more expensive. Yeah, it was a hot fix. We weren't paying attention because we were busy playing. But people were complaining about it being too expensive. They immediately just fucking turned down the crank on that thing. Like,
Love
go
it.
and look at it. And the reason why it's interesting now is because now, like, I've leveled a rogue. Now I've leveled a sentinel. I'll be honest, next character might just respec my paladin to a VK and have some fun, man. Like, and the fact that I can feel like that adds so much longevity to the game that wasn't there before that
Mm-hmm.
like, and
So
even if
much
like,
more willing to experiment with different characters. Yep.
and even if like, let's say I wanted to go play an acolyte next, that takes like maybe 2 hours at most. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
even take that long. And you know why it doesn't take that long? It's not even because of the super arenas. It's not even because of like the shared normal monoliths. It's not any of that. You know what sped up the whole run, Perry?
What do you got?
Having to deal with running through the temporal sanctum 50 times to make leveling gear. Oh my god,
Completely
that was
agree.
such a simple experience and so quick.
I want to make leveling gear because it's so easy to do now.
Yeah, like I actually went out of my way to make leveling gear and make really good leveling gear for
Mm-hmm.
other characters because of the fact that it was so much simpler because of the charm system. Oh my goodness. Like I can't glaze this part enough because I was literally on stream. I never did this before. I used to just level like just literally locked in and just leveled anyways.
Yep.
And without all this, because maybe I'd put on a unslammed morning frost and
Mm-hmm.
like, the normal stuff. But now like, oh, it's so much better. And like this has added so much longevity to the game because let me tell you, the amount of hours I spent in loading screens waiting to slam items as someone who theory crafts hundreds of builds a patch,
And hoping
it's
to get movement speed on your boots because it wasn't
yeah,
deterministic in the past.
it's a night and day difference. I feel like I can be like, okay, I'm gonna try this. Oh, it's bad. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. Before I didn't have that luxury. Before, if I screwed up, if I fucked up, I didn't make the right decision. Let's say, right,
Mm-hmm.
I was out of like maybe a day's worth of time. And now, like maybe 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's it's just so
this is
good.
like the thing is in G, you always had that ability to do that. This is so much better for COF. Like it's so much better for COF, right?
I
Because
wanna
like,
I want to share an anecdote real quick. Like, yeah,
yeah,
it's
go
so
ahead.
good. But before we get too far away from it, you talk about the mana cost, the price of respecing your mastery. And like I remember on day one, I guess this must have been fixed because you were talking about a hot fix. But anecdotally, there's someone in my Twitch chat on day one who's like, I picked one mastery and now, you know, I'm level 60 and I want to respec to something else.
Oh, my
But
friend Antez had that problem
yeah, but
too.
I want to respec. And this might have been the same person too. They wanted to
Yeah.
respec to like a different mastery, but to get to the next to swap masteries, they needed gold. So they needed to
And to do
farm
that,
up
they needed
gold,
to kill.
and by
Yeah.
farming up gold, they leveled up. And every time you leveled up, it cost more gold. And like they were in this loop where they couldn't respec because they kept leveling instead, and the price kept increasing. And they're like, ah,
Yeah, it's really
amazing.
funny. Oops, you bought like a rune of shattering in Act 1. Guess what? You can't afford your respec,
Yeah,
bucko.
right. Whoopsie daisy.
Oops. Yeah, I'm so happy with it. I think that this is gonna like, and that's like the thing too, is like talking about like, you know, the game being too easy and stuff like that a little bit more in this regard. Like all this does is just make me want to play more. Like when the game is too easy, you don't want to play it that long. You're like Diablo 4 where you
Mm-hmm.
just play it for a day and you
Yep.
quit, which is not the case right now, mind you, at all.
It feels much easier to get a basic character spun up. Like you
Yeah.
got your 1 LPs, you got your items, you know, you're in empowered monoliths,
It gets me
you're level
faster
80,
into the
boom,
min
done.
max, which is like the more fun part of the game,
Yeah,
right?
and that's the part of the game that they expanded with, you know, with the woven echoes and the new crafting materials and like the 2 LP or the not the 2 LP but the like double exalted possibilities on a 2 LP item. Like that's what you're chasing now.
Yeah, it's just so satisfying. Anything else you want to talk about? There's a lot of shit to talk about.
There's
We're gonna be doing regularly radio podcast episodes for like 2 months straight, dude. We got all the time in the world now.
yes, we have lots and lots of things to talk about.
It's like
We
it took
are
9 months or something.
we are about an hour into the podcast, so I'm gonna pause for a moment. Twitch chat, because I know you're watching live right now. If you have something in particular that you want to talk about, I have my list of topics. We're gonna keep going a few of these things. If we talk about every topic, we talk for hours. So I'm gonna cut us off at like maybe an hour and a half if we get to that point.
How
So
about this? MTX.
that's gonna take us another 4 hours. EHG knocked it out of the fucking park with MTX. I bought so much of it and I love it. And the skill MTX and the evade MTX, the little rainbow MTX that I bought. Holy moly, it's good. What's your favorite MTX?
Right now, my favorite MTX is the big two-handed red hammer that came with the
Oh,
pack.
yeah.
Yeah, that thing. I want to play a Smelter's Wrath build and
Just
go
for that
boom.
thing?
Yeah. Well, you can actually put a two-handed axe over it too, I think. So like you can get some variety
I
with it.
love that I'm playing a staff build and that's the only weapon type that they didn't add MTX for. I love that.
Oh no, they had it. MTX. It's in the pack. There's
Oh, I didn't buy that pack.
Storm Giant. Well, buy it then. You can
Buy it
like,
then. No.
you really think your children need diapers this month?
Ugh, we do have a lot of diapers upstairs. You know, maybe it is okay. You've convinced me.
Let's talk about a Uber specific build looks like. That we're gonna talk about that next week.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we
be
don't
honest.
know what an Uber Aberoth specific build looks
Wait.
like.
We haven't been like farming the game for hours and hours and hours. Like obviously we've been playing, but like Perry's like, you know what? How about this? Instead of this, Perry, talk about your initial impressions of Uber Aberoth.
Oh, this
You've
wasn't
shoved
on my
your-
list of things to talk about. But all right, so I took my
It's relevant here.
all right, so we talked about like the Fissure Smite characters. The Void Knight is a little bit tankier than the Paladin. I think the Paladin one's better overall, but the tankiness is different. So I walked into Uber Aberoth because I unlocked it, and he hit me with a basic attack, just like, and it did like 2,500 damage to me, and I was like, okay, well that's a lot of damage. And then over the next 6 or 7 or maybe 8 attempts of doing Uber Aberoth, it sure seems like if anything other than a basic attack hits me, I die.
Also, absolutely amazing, mind you, the fact that we can actually keep testing, mind you.
Yes, absolutely agree with you.
If you're gonna make it absurdly difficult, at least let me fucking smack my head against the wall.
And you can. They let you smack your head against a wall.
If you're gonna let me smack my head against the wall, at least let me do it my way.
Yeah, he deals a lot of damage. Everything's a little bit faster. The timings are a little bit different, and he's got 50 million HP. So, and 5 ward bars. So, yeah, he's a tanky fucking boy. Yeah, I need more damage than Fissure Smite. I gotta play something different instead. So you're planning on playing a marksman thing? Are you
I'm already
playing?
playing it.
Are you playing that build with the intent of trying to take it to Uber Abrath?
No, so my problem with the Uber Aberoth thing,
Mm-hmm.
this is just a personal
Okay.
problem, is so I like to play builds in the 90th percentile. Builds
Mm.
that are strong, but they're usually not the ones that get nerfed. I don't know if you noticed, but if you check my YouTube, only one build of mine got nerfed into absolute oblivion this patch, and that was like the Blast Rain character
Mm-hmm.
that I tried. That was the only character that got nerfed in the dumpster. Everything else didn't get touched barely at all. Like Warlock got touched a little bit, but now you just go HP scaling, so who gives a fuck, right? Whatever. And now, and that has saved me so much time because you remember this takes me hours and hours and hours to work on these sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it takes me a lot of effort to work on builds. So having them get nerfed constantly is a pain in the ass. So I usually stick around 90, 95 percentile because I can do all the content in the game and do just fine. I just, I'm probably just not going to do Uber Abrath anytime soon just because, like, to do Uber Abrath, I'm going to play a build that's going to get nerfed next patch, right?
Yes, right. So, and I think that's a really good shout out, especially if you're like new players or tourists, game tourists in chat right now. There are always one or two or maybe three standout builds of any given patch. Maybe it's like Gel Course, Blasting Knife, Marksman, Melee, Detonating Arrow, the strongest build we've ever had in the game. There's always something in the game like Falconer Bleed that's going to be way better than everything else. The moment that you just close your eyes, just like pretend that the top 3 builds in the game don't exist. There is so much build variety in Last Epoch. There are
I never get
so
bored.
many
I
things that you can
literally
play.
never get bored. People ask me how I play it so much. It's because I never get bored. I have so much to do now. Like I have so much to do right now.
Mhm. It feels great too, right?
Oh, it feels amazing. No, I love it. I love being busy. I'm a workaholic. I love being busy.
Yes. It's like if you just close your eyes to Uber Abrath, and I made a video talking about the Fissure Smite VK today, and like
Oh yeah.
Fissure Smite anything, you're gonna have a really hard time against Uber Abrath. Like
I'm
maybe
gonna do
even
it.
impossible.
I'm gonna do it. Like, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try to farm it and stuff. My
Good. You know
problem
what?
is, like
Go
I
for
said,
it. I'll
it's just
I'll be
that's gonna be a
surprised
later
and
in
proud of
the patch
you.
kind of thing when I have extra time on my hands and I'm
Yeah.
not making up for content. Because you got to remember, I'm also trying to help the people out who are
Yes.
new too. Like there's been a lot of people asking, like, "Hey, Dread, my Heartseeker build sucks. Can you give me a better one?" Which is
Right.
weird considering how good Heartseeker
I
is. But
I
yeah,
I thought it was
whatever.
gonna be really hard to make a bad Heartseeker build, but yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, what people are having problems with is like they don't know how to make marksman tanky, which is understandable. It's definitely not the easiest thing to
And
do.
it's been a
But
problem in the past, right?
when you're sitting at 5k ward and 2k HP, it's actually a lot easier.
I
I've
mean, just
noticed.
like even the Dust Shroud generation seems nuts for Heartseeker. I would take that every single time that I use Heartseeker.
I'm not running it right now, but mainly just because like I don't know if I'm like I need plus levels first before I can do that.
There you go. Okay. Yeah,
I'm not
Heartseeker's skill tree is amazing.
I grabbed the twist and turn thing because I wanted to be Yondu, man.
Get out of here. You spent 1 point on nothing just for
Yeah,
MTX.
Carb was shilling the fuck out of it. Of course, I'm gonna click on it. It's free MTX,
Did
baby.
he pay you for that? He's like, oh, I'll give you one
No,
extra
he did
skill
not pay
point.
me. You know how he paid me? Showing me all the Sentinel stuff really early on. That's how he paid me.
Oh,
That
it's
made
so good.
the job so much easier.
All right, so
Uh,
I have a question for you because you played this is a build specific Smite Fissure thing, and it's something that's been on my mind, and I just pivoted recently for my particular build having symbols of hope on it. So I want to hear you with an opinion.
the
When
Symbols of Hope OP?
no.
Yes.
When we first saw the Symbols of Hope rework, we were trying to parse what this skill is going to look like, and we mentioned this kind of looks like a smaller version, maybe a fixed version of Flame Ward.
No one's pressing the button.
No, is that it? Okay.
No one's pressing the button.
No one's ever doing it. I find myself clicking the button. Is no one doing that?
I don't press the button.
It's a lot of
I'm
DR. You really don't click. It's like 25% DR.
I think if you're gonna press the button, you'd rather run the ring instead because it automates it for you.
Wait, Twitch chat's saying they press it all the time.
I got to 1,000 corruption and I was doing just fine, and I never pressed the button.
Really? I'm interested.
I mean, to be fair, that's like probably power creep, go burr, but still, like.
I mean, if I were to use it, I would use the ring. I think the ring is amazing for symbols of hope.
Yeah, I think the ring is the better way of going about it for sure.
Got it. I do like it. I like the idea. Like, okay, so I'm gonna fight something like a harbinger or something. Like maybe the slam's coming, and I don't want to move, and I just want to tank it.
When you have the block nodes, do you really want to press the button?
Yes, because it's guaranteed DR, and it's not just against hits, right?
Yeah, but then you lose like about 20% block chance.
I mean, it's more DR though, so.
Yeah, but getting your block capped means you have 60% DR.
But it's more DR.
I feel like as though this is going to be.
I don't know, it's like numerically, you have better damage reduction when it's up.
One thing I've noticed over the past few years, what I've really been happy about, we're always arguing. Not in the way like negative arguing, but in the way that like is interesting. We never just always agree with each other, and let me tell you, that gets so boring.
Dread. No one presses the button. People in chat say they do. Dread. I don't click the button. Oh, Dread. Oh, Dread thinks he's everyone. Oh.
Well, no, I don't think I'm everyone. I just look at everyone's stream and stuff like that, and I don't see them pressing the button.
They're really never. It makes you so tanky. I don't get it.
I feel like you put it on your bar and then you forget about it, kind of like how you did before.
I don't know.
I think it's insanely
really
strong,
good.
by the way. I just forget about it. That's all. I'm zooming too fast, I guess.
Zoom.
Yeah.
All right. What else? So I wanted to ask you about that. I also wanted to ask you about build contest, because I mentioned that at the very beginning of the stream.
Item. Give me like 5 seconds.
I'll give you 5 seconds. So I decided on what the build contest was going to be earlier today.
Oh, you already know about it?
No. I haven't announced it. I want you to keep brainstorming. I decided on it, and one of the best ways to learn if you're making a good or bad decision is to convince yourself that you've already made the decision. It's like if you're torn between like chocolate ice cream and vanilla ice cream. You flip a coin, and like if it's heads, you get vanilla. And then you look at the coin, and then you look at the outcome. If you're disappointed in the outcome, do the opposite thing.
I think
it's like it tricks you. It tricks you into like learning about your emotions, like learning more about yourself.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
So I tricked my brain into like committing to something earlier today, and I've been having that thought in the back of my head during the past 8 hours or so of the stream. I think it's a bad idea. So I think
how much easier it's gonna be though to like actually participate in these things
because of the 1LP slams.
Just everything.
Yes, because of everything. Absolutely. This current patch is amazing for like meme builds, trying new things, build contests, leveling second characters like we talked about.
I feel like a lot of builds
really
right now can hit 1,000 corruption pretty easy peasy now. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, every build 1,000 corruption. Yeah, and if you don't hit 1,000 corruption, you should feel bad about it. So make sure to go to Dread's stream and he'll give you extra pointers for how to get there.
No. Don't go to my stream. I have enough people harassing me as it is.
All right,
my throat's dead because of that.
I'm gonna ask for your opinion, because I've asked for Twitch chat's opinion multiple times, but I've never explicitly asked your opinion. I haven't announced anything yet, but build contests. What's something that you want an excuse to build around? You haven't quite got there yet.
Dominance of the Tundra.
Don't know what the fuck that is. Oh, that helmet.
The Evade Glacier.
The Evade Glacier helmet is on my list of items. It is definitely something that should be on everyone's radar. I think the Evade Glacier helmet is a very interesting item.
There's so much fun you can do with it.
You could use it as, you could spec it, you could play it as a werebear, you could just use it for the armor and like have
Wizard Bear.
Yeah, Blizzard Bear, sure. Like it's
No,
got a
wizard,
lot of Wizard
because
Bear,
you use like the meteor belt. You know, you're a wizard.
sure. And then you convert everything to cold damage, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, you're a wizard, Harry.
There's a lot of potential for that helmet. The only person that I've seen use that helmet so far was using a crab ring, and they weren't using evade, and they were just using it because it had like a bunch of armor and like intelligence on
I
it.
mean, it has strength and intelligence. It's essentially like a barb root, but for strength and intelligence.
It
It's
is,
really
it
good.
is, but that's not the fun part of it. Come on.
I mean, that's what happens when you shove 24 flat stats on an item.
Wasn't that
And it,
item supposed to be like a level 5 item? And
it
then they
is a
just
level 5 item.
no, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
What are you talking about?
It's like level 12, I think, maybe, actually.
You sure?
Yeah, it's a leveling item. You can use it for leveling.
You sure?
I'm being serious.
Requires level 60. Are you sure?
Oh, wait, what? Did they change it?
That's why I'm mentioning this.
Oh, they
What-
changed
Yeah,
it.
they took away our fun. Look what
No,
they
it-
took from
no,
us.
Trailer, it was way different, remember? So
Look what they
yeah.
took from us.
Oh my god, it is 60. What have
I
they
know.
done?
That's why I'm fucking mentioning it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
We could have had fun.
Cringe,
Judge, you monster.
cringe. What? I'm angry now. That was ridiculous. I was gonna have
Oh,
fun.
reading gets another one. It's the worst.
Okay, all right. It's not my fault they changed 2 whole items from the reveals. Okay, how am I supposed to keep up with that when all the knowledge spread across 50 different YouTube channels?
True.
By the way, we're gonna fix that next batch. We're doing like a crowdsourced like information dump thing. By the way,
I love it.
in
It's a good
batch.
idea. It's like, man, there's so many competing standards. I'm going to make one centralized standard. There are now 13 competing standards.
Mel.
All right. How do you feel about a Weaver item challenge where every single item in every slot is a Weaver item?
Well, you use the weapon, the one that gives you duration, right? Per Weaver item you're wearing.
Yeah, that thing. I think that's a cool one too. It's still on my list.
Yeah. That one's the only problem I have with that one is it's just kind of a little too generic where like I want to use it, but then like there's like other items that fight for that spot just because it's so generic, right? Does that make any sense?
I hear you.
Yeah, it's just I don't think it's bad, mind you. It's just like I always think about it and I'm just like, is this worth like doing or not, right?
I
I'll
know
definitely look into it.
I know that you and I could yap for a very long time. The one question that I had written down was like symbols of hope and flame ward stuff, learning that you never click your button. So shame on you. I have a number of other like niche questions that I want to cover at some point, but like we've already talked about a good handful of things. And I actually just want to cut it off here. So we're doing an hour and
Yeah.
12 minutes for the podcast right now. We can do another podcast within 1 month, or sorry, within 1 week. We don't need to wait an entire week to do
Oh
another
yeah,
one.
easily.
So we
Yeah.
have so many things that we'll get to talk about in the meantime. For those of you who are watching on Twitch and watching maybe on YouTube or Spotify after the fact, you should know that the build contest that I'll be hosting is going to start next week on Friday. So that'll be the 25th, and it'll go for a week, maybe 2 weeks. We'll see, but at least a week after that point. So I'll announce what the topic or the item or the theme of that build contest is going to be. So let's cut it off there. Dread the Capybara, thanks for having your evening with me. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, of course, anytime. I'm gonna go do capybara things now.
It's what time is it? It's 11 o'clock. I probably should level a new character. I might go make some leveling gear. I think I might actually be playing a mage after
Heck
this.
yeah.
Yeah, weird, right? Mage, like it's the Heartseeker patch, it's the Sentinel patch, but everyone's
I mean, the
bitching
power
that
creep
everyone's
benefits mage too. So
well, everyone's bitching about playing Sentinel. It's like, well, maybe the people want to see a non-Sentinel. So I've got an idea for what I want to do
and there's
next.
Frozen Sentinel. He's playing mage right now. He's having a great
True,
time.
that's true. Is he freezing things though?
No, he's not.
Not living up to his name.
Yeah,
Disappointing.
damn.
In any case, listen, if you're watching on YouTube, Spotify, or Twitch VODs after the fact, let us know where you're consuming this content so we can make sure that your viewing and listening experience is as good as possible. Dread, this is episode 62. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yep.
And the rest of you, I'll see you next time.